name is Yumi Ridsdale. I am a registered acupuncturist and Chinese medicine practitioner in Cambridge, Ontario. Today, I'd like to talk about this book. The English title is The Only Two Causes for All Diseases. However, the original Japanese title is The Only Two Causes for Cancer. He mainly talks about how the cancer emerges and grows in human body. Today I'd like to give you a really brief condensed summary of what he says in the book. There is an English translation available on Amazon, so I really highly recommend to give a read if you want to know the detail. Now, let's start with author, Dr.Toru Abo. He is a medical doctor and immunologist. He had a PhD from Tohoku University in Japan. He's actually from my hometown, Aomori Prefecture. Not in the same town, but he's from Aomori. Cancer is really sensitive topic, and he has quite a few books about the immune system and then cancer. I think at this point, everybody knows somebody who died of the cancer. So I hope this gives you another view of this disease. I myself, I'm a widow. My first husband, he died of the lung cancer in 2012. So it's it is not an easy topic for me to discuss, but this is something I thought it's really important for everybody to know. And then as a Chinese medicine practitioner, there's a lot of similarity in our understanding of the body and his understanding the body. So I really want to discuss about this book and then give commentary as a Chinese medicine practitioner. Okay, so let's start with the current treatments. In the Western medicine, there are three major treatments to treat cancer: surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. These treatments are mainly to eliminate the cancer as an enemy. After cancer emerges, these treatments are used to eliminate it. And then sometimes chemotherapy and radiation are used to prevent after surgery or around a couple rounds of the chemotherapy treatments are done. But these three treatments always, it can eliminate the cancer, but at the same time, it damages the body so much that when another cancer emerges or when another disease emerges, it really doesn't prepare body to fight against next diseases. And I think a lot of people are realizing it and talking about how surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation can be ineffective, or I don't want to say waste, but the amount of the agony and then pain to go through these treatments and then the result, it's not sometimes fair. I've seen how chemotherapy and radiation does to my patients and my family members. So these treatments sometimes work, sometimes don't work. Now, he's a doctor himself, and this is what he says: they don't work as well as it should, as well as doctor believes that it should. Now, he moved on to the root causes. Already, I'll give you the two causes. Here's the two causes for the cancer. The two causes for the cancer, according to Dr. Abo, is simple: low oxygen in the body and low body temperature. Low oxygens, and I will go into the little more detail as we go. But the first, he talks about, is cancer really a failure of the body? These days, so 80 years ago, or maybe 80 some years ago, German physician and scientist, Dr. Otto Warburg, he said something very interesting, that the cancer only grows on the environment mainly with the breakdown of sugar or glucose, mostly. And then he actually got Nobel Prize with this theory and then finding. So the entire medical field was going towards, along with what he says. However, with the development of the microscope and other biological finding and then discoveries, the entire medical fields shift to look into the cancer from the mutation of the oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. So it's a mutation. Something happened to the body, and then the healthy cell turn into cancer. Maybe because the person exposed to the cancer causing factors such as smoking, such as asbestos, such as bad air pollution, the charcoal from the meat, and then the cancer started. So the entire medical field these days treat the cancer as the mutated version of the healthy cells. It's a failure of the body. Dr. Abo says it's not. It's not. He says cancer cells are meant to emerge to adjust to given environment. It is not the failure. It is what the body planned to do. It meant to produce the cancer cells to adjust the environment. So he said it is from the proper cause and effect. To understanding his point, you need to understand the two metabolism pathways. One is a glycolysis pathway, and then the other is a mitochondrial pathway. And then this is sounds really too technical, but it's really not. It's really easy to understand. So let me try. So glycolysis pathway is more ancient way of energy production. Ancient metabolic pathway. So like a simple cells, simple creatures, they have glycolysis pathways only. So they use the glucose, which we know as sugar, as the only source of energy. It is anaerobic production of the energy, and then that means it doesn't require oxygen. It only requires sugar to produce the energy. And then in a way, oxygen actually poison to animals or this organism that uses glycolysis pathway, glycolysis metabolic pathway as a sole only way to produce energy. They don't like oxygen. They only need the sugar. So it's really ancient way, like I don't know, billions of years ago when their some organic systems started on the earth, they only used this way to produce energy. It is fast production, but it has a small amount. And then human has too. Human has any animal actually have some sort of the glycolysis metabolic pathway. Chickens do, like a lot of animals do. Human has too, of course. it is a fast production. It only needs sugar. Fast production, but it's small amount. They produce the small amount, so they run out of the energy really quickly. They mostly use this energy that produced human mostly use the energy produced through the glycolysis pathway for the fast instantaneous power. So like splint, like when we do the exercise with that doesn't require breathing. So when you're running as hard as you can, you're not breathing. Like, you know, when you run like a splint for the 50-meter or 100-meter, you don't breathe within it, right? Or when you swing bat, when swing golf club, like, you know, fast and then powerful movement, it uses this energy from the glycolysis pathway because it's fast production. The second way is mitochondrial pathway, and it is this pathway evolved through the evolution of the organic systems. It started from the simple cells, and then when it becomes like, you know, become more complex structure in this animal throughout this history of organism, we start doing this mitochondrial energy production. It requires food plus oxygen. Not just the sugar, but the good food source with oxygen is what we need. It is aerobic production, right? Because aerobic means like it needs the oxygen. It is a slow and complex production of the energy. It requires a lot of systems in the body, but it produces a large amount of the energy. And we use it for the endurance and stamina. So the exercise that require breathing, it could be marathon, it could be qigong, it could be martial arts, or, you know, martial arts may be a mixture, like, you know, fast punch and kick may use a glycolysis, but it definitely uses the stamina, right? So the human uses the both glycolysis pathway and the mitochondrial pathway to do day-to-day activity. So if you think about Chinese medicine, this mitochondrial pathway is what we call qi transformation. Qi transformation is something you learn in the first year when you go to school. What it basically is when you eat, the food has a qi. That's called the gu qi, or food qi. Qi means energy, right? So this food qi or gu qi is extracted from the stomach, and then it ascended to the chest, where it combined with the kon qi, means like air, clean air, and then the combination of the gu qi and kon qi is called the zong qi, chest qi. Then this zong qi is combined with the yuan qi, or the each individual's source energy, yuan qi, which stores in the kidney, and it combines with the zong qi and yuan qi, and we make what we call zhen qi. Zhen qi means the correct qi. So zhen qi is something to correct what's wrong in the body. So this mitochondrial pathway is exactly what we in Chinese medicine, what we call this qi transformation, which means that the energy that's produced through this mitochondrial pathway is zhen qi. What we do as a Chinese medicine practitioner is to shift the zhen qi, or help the body to create more zhen qi so the body can fight against the illness. Any lineage of the acupuncturist, we do the same thing. We basically investigate why this person doesn't have a genji, and then we boost the genji in the body. I'm a herbalist as well, so I use Chinese herbs to do that as well. Some people just use the acupuncture. Some Chinese medicine practitioners use the qigong exercise to produce genji. It's all the same thing. Now, that means, here go back to the root causes, low oxygen level and low body temperature, and these are the root of all diseases, including cancer, which means that the low oxygen and low body temperature is equal to the low genji in Chinese medicine. Very easily happens in the contemporary society. If I add something though, low body temperature can actually cause the dry hotness and diaphragm above, technically. So some people, a lot of people, 70 or maybe 80% of the Canadian usually have, like, you know, too much heat diaphragm above and not enough heat diaphragm down. So I often have to balance the chi and then heat from the heat, descend the heat down, and then the strengthen the stomach. That's mainly what I usually do. So this is needs to be understood to understand Dr. Abo's this book. Okay, so the one is glycolysis pathway and one is mitochondrial pathway. Now these two, we need both. You can't just have the mitochondrial pathway. We do need this glycolysis pathway. We need a balance. But when we are younger, to the maybe the prime time of our age, like, you know, mid-20s, even like for some people early 30s, more glycolysis pathway. You know, young people can run faster, right? Like young people can do things with more energy, more power, and they don't get tired because their glycolysis energy production is so active that they keep making, you know. When I was in junior high, I was in track and field school club, and then we do like so many sets of the splint, and I was just fine. And then right now I'm 40. I don't know if I can even do one. So as we age, more mitochondrial pathway dominates the body. So it's like this, right? Like, you know, it more glycolysis, like when we're younger, it's at the peak and then it gradually decreases. But the mitochondrial pathway comes more as we age. Mitochondrial production pathway is slow and complex. Like, you know, it requires a lot of quiet moment. So maybe when we're a child, we may not depend on the mitochondrial energy production because we always want to move, right? We have excess energy that we need to release. But as we age, you know, towards the 40, 50, 60, the body is more relying on the mitochondrial pathway. More stamina and endurance is important. So we need both production. Now, what makes the imbalance of the glycolysis energy production and the mitochondrial energy production? According to Dr. Abo, simple. It's stress. This stress can be like a huge stress, like, you know, war or losing job, losing spouse, day-to-day mundane stress, like everyday stress. Any stress will put the body into the fight or flight mode or sympathetic nervous system mode, right? sympathetic nervous system is like a fight or flight. Like you're good to go. Like, you know, you're ready to go. You're ready to run. You know, either you fight or you run, right? The other side is a parasympathetic nervous system. Under the parasympathetic nervous system, you more relax, and then like a healing and digestion happens, right? You sleep. So you need a good balance of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But when this balance shift more towards the fight or flight, it can make an environment that cancer wants to emerge and grow. So under the fight or flight, the heart rate, heart and lung function will be accelerated. This is physiology. This is Western medicine. And when you're like, you know, nervous, when you're like, you know, need to run now, like, you know, your heart and run start running fast, right? It also, the digestion will get slow or stop. No time to digest, you know, when you need to run fast. It constricts the blood vessel in anywhere except towards the muscle. So more blood flow towards the muscle because you have to fight, you have to run. The stress, and when you're stressed out, the liver release more glucose, the sugar, into the blood system, so they increase the blood sugar. And these are all to support you in case you need to fight or run. It's really something body is doing for you. But under this though, when this, under this, you know, you get the shortness of the breath, so like you don't get enough oxygen, the digestion won't happen, so the genji is not produced. Healing comes after, right? Not while you're fighting. So ideally, after you fight or you run, you have a moment to relax, right? But if the body is continuously under the stress, you stress at work, you stress at home, and then like you stressed during the sleep, and then you stress 24/7, like, you know, I have a patient who says like, I never relax. There are a lot of people who don't know how to relax. That means their body is always under some degree of the fight or flight. They don't let the body to rest. So they're always, the oxygen level is low and genji is low. Because the blood vessel is constricted, the body temperature goes down, but the blood pressure and then the blood sugar level goes up. Because the body wants to prepare, right? Always. This way of the body is not ideal for mitochondrial energy production. Not enough oxygen, not enough like a sit down and eating like nutritious meal, not enough time to relax, not enough time to rest. Then the energy production of the body has to rely on the glycolysis production, where you only need the sugar. You don't need a complex energy production cycle that takes like an entire body to make. We just want a quick energy so you can go, right? This is like under the fight or flight. What you need is a glycolysis energy production. You just need a sugar. So energy bar or what's that thing that the energy meal replacement drinks, that the really awfully sweet drinks they can endure, like people drink. That's only for the glycolysis energy production, right? Because what you need is good amount of the oxygen from the deep breathing and relaxation for the mitochondrial energy production to happen, for the long-term longevity and then stamina, which you need after you reach like, you know, middle age and then senior age. But under that, when the body has to rely on the glycolysis energy production, cancer cells has to emerge Because what cancer, so that's what the Dr. Otto Warburg, Dr. Warburg found, right? Cancer cells mostly rely on the glycolysis energy production. It doesn't really need a mitochondrial energy production. It sits in the body and then make a big cells, and then it starts growing its web, and it relies on the sugar, only sugar to grow. We all know that the cancer cells likes the cold temperature, die in a hot temperature, and it's really feeble, like really fine blood vessel that they create, you know, because it only needs like a glycolysis, the energy that produced from the glycolysis pathway. So this is what Dr. Warburg found, and that's what he thought the entire medical field is going to go after, right? He thought, okay, this is what we figured out. Energy, cancer only needs the sugar. So even though you're exposed to the cancer causing substances, as long as your body is have a good balance of the mitochondrial energy pathway and glycolysis energy pathway according to your age group, we're good. Because our body can naturally kill cancer cells. Because cancer cells can grow in anyone. I grow cancer cells, you grow cancer cells, but we don't grow cancer cells into the tumor because we have mitochondrial energy production. We have Genji. We have this Genji that heals the body, right? But when this balance is off, the cancer cells is not just a cell, it becomes a tumor. So Dr. Warburg said, okay, let's do this. And this way of thinking is also appeared in classical Chinese medicine as well, such as Wenbin. And the Wenbin, it says when a person drink an alcohol, not everybody gets drunk in the same way. Some people get drunk really bad. Some people don't get drunk. Some people may start like puking, and then, or maybe some people start singing. Like, you know, in Wenbin, it says like, you know, same drug, alcohol can affect in multiple ways. Why is that? It's because the body, each individual's body allows this drug to affect in the way it does. It's not about the poison, or it's not about this drug or the cancer causing substances itself. It's the body that can either grow it into the big deal or just simply eliminate it from the body. It's about the body. It's never been about the bacteria or the virus. It's about the body who can how we react to this thing. So when the body is under these conditions, and then the body temperature becomes low, and there's the low oxygen level in the body with high blood pressure and then high blood sugar, it really cancer has to grow, because that's the only way that the body gets energy. Cancer, according to Dr. Abo, cancer emerges for us, not to kill us. Because the body is under this situation, cancer has to come out and then has to grow huge. And then he continues though, however, you do need some stress in the life. You do need some stress in the day-to-day life. You cannot just have no stress. And then this is interesting. He's like really all about balance, and that's what we do in Chinese medicine, right? Yin and yang balance is all what we look for. When the yin and yang is in a perfect balance, the Genji is in the perfect optimum amount and quality, right? He says, if you just sit at home, you don't have to work, all you have to do is look at outside, and your life's been always like that, you still produce cancer due to the body being too much under the parasympathetic nervous system. You have to have some stress to relax. You can't just, if you just relax, it causes a stagnation. Think about it, right? Like you relax because we relax in the weekend because we work hard from Monday to Friday. If we don't work any day, and then you never worked in your entire life, and then that's all you do is just stay home and watch TV, you don't actually relax. You just stagnate. Relaxation happens because there's a stress in life. It's like a same coins, and then you can't have only this side of the coin. You have to have a both side to have this side of the coin, right? Michel Foucault said the same thing. The French philosopher Michel Foucault, because there's oppression, there's a freedom. Without the oppression, there's no freedom, right? Same thing. You need to have some balanced amount of the stress. You may run, you may fight for like, you know, or run in the daytime, but at home, you should appreciate, you should have a relaxation moment. And that's how you balance. And then as you age, the balance shifts, right? When you're younger, because the glycolysis energy production is more dominant, you fight longer, or you may run longer, you run your business longer, and then you may not need as much of the as much rest. But after you hit 40, you shouldn't fight too long, right? You shouldn't run too long. You shouldn't be at the front line of your business too long, because you need more resting. So as you age, and this is a physiology, it's really, there's not much you can do about it. The yin and yang, the way to balance the yin and yang shifts, right? Because yin and yang is there's like a stress and relaxation is one yin and yang. Sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system is one yin and yang. But you also under like a small gear of the yin and balance yin and yang gear with is a part of the bigger yin and yang. Like it could be the annual yin and yang from the spring to the winter. So for the, if you grow vegetable, you work really hard for long hours from the spring to the early fall, but the entire winter, like, you know, the second half of the fall to the maybe like, you know, beginning of the spring, you relax, right? Or it could be bigger cycle, you know what I mean? And then your entire life is also the big yin and yang. When you're born and then you become like 20 years old, and then strong and powerful is like a height of your yang, and then like slowly, maybe after 30 years old, maybe you're still strong, and then after you hit 40, 50, you turn into the yin part of the life, right? When the yin is at the deepest, you perish, and then another life starts again. That's how the yin and yang works. So you really need this yin and yang balance of the life. Then he move on to the 8 rules of the to avoid cancer. So let's talk about that. It's not really too complicated. Number 1, deal with the stress and anxiety. Straightforward, right? You need to deal with your stress. You need to deal with your anxiety. If you have a stress or anxiety, do something about it. Go to the acupuncturist. Anxiety pill though, if you have anxiety and if you take anxiety pills, you actually your body temperature goes down, because the mood alternating medicine is often cold. So when you need a medication, you need it, but then it shouldn't be your permanent solution. Like, you know, you can use a Chinese medicine. You can use you can just simply go under the sun. You can take a vacation. You can take a stress leave, right? Deal with the stress and anxiety proactively. Don't wait when, you know, oh, I can still go. There's if I don't work, what's gonna happen to this company? Not your problem. Your wellness comes first, yeah? So deal with your stress and anxiety. Number one, because this list, he says, it's not like you can start from anywhere. When you achieve the number one, then move on to the number two. So first, most importantly, you have to deal with your stress and anxiety. Number two, do not work too hard. Excellent. I always said to my patients, don't work too hard as they leave my office. Do not work too hard. And number three, chillax. Chill and relax. You really need it. You need to have a moment to do nothing and appreciate your life. In Japan, in Asia too, but also I guess in North America, not doing anything and just looking at the outside, it has a label of lazy, but it's not lazy. Lazy is when this is the, you know, when you don't do anything forever without doing, like, you know, there's no moment of the fighting for your life, you know, you just sit on the couch. That's lazy. But if you have a moment in your life that you have to work hard, of course you should relax, right? There's no such a thing lazy when you work hard, but don't work too hard. So to chillax, like, you know, you really need to proactively do something. If you cannot relax, if you don't know how to relax, you need to learn to meditate. Meditation, maybe you should go into the yoga nidra. I talk about yoga nidra with a yoga teacher in my other video. Learn about that. It's not too hard. You know, a lot of the yoga nidra video is available and the meditation video is available on YouTube. Or you can take courses, right? Or you can go to the nature. Nature is a great way, you know, for me at least. I love camping. You can go in the nature to relax. I also read books. Some people may listen to music. You know, find a way to proactively relax. And then from 1 to 3 is about your body. The relaxing is half body, half mind. But when you achieve this, you now go into the next phase. Don't let the body expose to the cold. Chinese medicine never really like clothes that expose your stomach. Like when the teenager comes and then their shirts only covers up to the, you know, here, I always tell them you need to have an undershirts. And then somebody says, no, Yumi, undershirts is only for the old men. No, you need to wear underwear. Everybody has to wear underwear. Don't let the body expose to the cold. Especially I live in Canada, like you know, we need to stay warm. Wear socks. In Canada, I don't know why Canadians don't like socks. Like once, like even the winter time, I see people wearing shorts. It's crazy. But don't let the body expose to the cold. Then eat well. You need to eat well. And then I have a video about the eating well. What I mean by eating well in Chinese medicine. Actually, this is mind, this is body. Sorry about that. So the first you deal with the mind, and then you take care of the body. Yeah, don't let the body expose to the cold. Eat well. You need to eat in a certain times. Don't do crazy fasting. Eat. Occasional fasting is okay, but if you can't eat breakfast, there's a reason for it, right? Don't eat too late. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too much comfort food. Eat good homemade warm food. Cold smoothie is like the last things I would suggest to eat. Introduce the aerobic exercise. Go for a walk. Maybe do qigong, do yoga. go on elliptical, like introduce aerobic exercise, so your body is always full of fresh, nice air, right? Then lastly, if you can, be grateful, and then have laugh, and then find a career or hobby that you truly enjoy, because this, he found that when you have this, everything goes well, you know. So if you can do this, it really helps to avoid not just cancer, because this helps the body to be under the balance of the yin and yang. So this actually helps to avoid any diseases, most of the diseases. Then this leads to the longevity. So this is the quick summary of the Dr. Abo's book. The only two causes to, what was that? Only two causes for all diseases. Yes. So I hope this was helpful, and then I hope you will go outside under the nature, exposed to the sun, exposed to the good air. Go for a walk and relax, and then eat well and watch comedy, laugh, and then enjoy your moment with the family and friends. And that's the best way to avoid any diseases. Even though there is a viral infection or bacterial infections coming to you, as long as your genchi is strong, you don't need to afraid. Okay? So thank you very much. It was Yumi Ridsdale about the immune system. Thank you. Bye-bye. And please check out his book if you want. Buy it.